Alrighty guys, so today we are working on a little Halloween activity. I know it's a little bit after Halloween, but I figured it would be fun anyways. So if you look under, let's see, week 9, we're under Friday. It's called the Dracula cell. So we've already done the notes on cells at this point. And you will need either to access those notes or if you have your foldable, use that if you're in class. I did a couple things with this one. I know some people were having issues with opening up Google Docs, and Cami is finicky. She works half the time. Sometimes, half the class can open it up. Other times, no one can open it up. So I'm just going to upload the PDF. And I also included all the questions right here as well, so you can look at it either way you want to. Here's the PDF version, and I'll show you what that looks like in a second. You'll need to either type in the text box below, or you can create a separate Google Doc and upload that and submit it to me. So you're not going to be having to write on anything directly in this assignment. So I'm going to go to the document version of it. It's a little bit prettier to look at. And there it is. When I say prettier, just the formatting is a little bit better. So Halloween Count Dracula cell hunt. I'm going to go through this. I'm going to help you out a little bit. If you already know what you're doing, great. If you need some examples, that's why you watch the video. So for the introduction, the story of Count Dracula goes back 700 years. Bram Stoker wrote a novel that portrayed vampires in a negative light. However, Dracula wanted to get along with all the townspeople and actually had a lot of friends. That was until the fictitious book came to a reality. Count Dracula drank a bad batch of Halloween punch and it turned him into a vampire. He also gained some superhero-like powers in the process. Now the townspeople are after Dracula. He has shrunk himself down and is hiding in the cell. Your goal is to find out where Dracula is in the cell, find out what will keep him from turning you into a vampire too, and find what can cure Count Dracula and turn him back into an everyday citizen. You will use your knowledge of the cell to answer the following questions. As you answer the questions in each section, use the letters as instructed after each question to answer the overall question to each part. So here's part 1. What provides the internal framework of animal cells? So you can either go through, these are all going to be different types of organelles or things that we would have talked about in those notes. Internal framework normally is some type of a skeleton. And if we're talking about a cell's skeleton, that is a cytoskeleton. And it says use the last letter. So whenever I'm talking about that, see, I'm just going to bold that letter there. That is going to be the first letter for my clue here of where is Dracula. So I'm going to put an N down there. What is the structure directly outside the nucleus that has ribosomes bound to it? Structure right outside the nucleus has ribosomes on it. That has to be the rough ER. Rough endoplasmic reticulum. Use the third letter. So the third letter of rough is a U. So, my next letter will be a U. This structure is not present in prokaryotic cells. Use the third letter. Structure not present in prokaryotic cells. That is the nucleus. Use the third letter. It's a C. What is the structure that helps transport things throughout the cell? An example would be how a protein gets to the Golgi from the rough ER. So this little guy is actually part of the cell membrane and he pinches off. It's called a vesicle. The sixth letter, B-E-S-I-C-L. What is found in both prokaryotes and eukaryotes, and its job is to make proteins? Ribosomes. Now, the rough ER also makes proteins. However, the prokaryotic cells don't have rough ERs, so that's why it is a ribosome. They do have ribosomes. Use the last letter of the singular form of the word. Plants have a large central one of these, and it pushes out toward the cell wall. That is the vacuole. Use the fourth letter, VACU, and you're probably starting to determine what organelle this is going to be down here. What structure is full of enzymes to recycle old organelles in our cells? That's got to be a lysosome. And that is an S. All right, so Dracula is in the nucleus. What structure receives the protein from the rough ER and packages it for its final destination outside of the cell? Use the first letter. You can call this the Golgi body or the Golgi apparatus. It's the same thing, but we're talking about the Golgi. So first letter is a G. We're trying to see how do you keep him from hurting you. This is found in prokaryotes and plant cells only. The structure provides strength and protection for the organism. Cell wall. Use the sixth letter. K. This structure makes energy for the cell. Oh my gosh, the powerhouse of the cell. Everybody knows this one. The mitochondria. What structure makes a ribosome? The nucleolus. We don't talk about the nucleolus too much, but he is located inside the nucleus. This is in animal cells and helps with cell division. So it helps if I spelled it right. Centrioles. You do need to spell it correctly in order to get the right answer. And what is the structure in eukaryotic cells that houses the DNA? Well, that is the nucleus. So how do you keep Dracula from hurting you? You use garlic. And how do we cure Dracula? What structure is only in plant cells and where photosynthesis takes place? The little green guy is the chloroplast. This is the fluid portion of the cell. It's that jelly-like stuff. The cytoplasm. What is the ship structure on prokaryotes that helps them with movement? That's their little tail, the flagella. This structure surrounds the nucleus and allows mRNA to leave the nucleus after it is made. The nuclear envelope. This is the genetic material that is housed in the DNA. Use the second letter of the Oh, use the second letter of the abbreviated form. I think I said the answer there. DNA. What structure synthesizes or makes lipids? That is the smooth ER. And this is the structure that surrounds all the cells and is selectively permeable. Cell membrane. Although in this case, we're going to call it the plasma membrane. And if we use the second letter there, that's going to give us Tylenol. So you cure him by giving him Tylenol. So for you guys, if you're typing this in a Google Doc, you'll just have, number 1, and you would write next to it cytoskeleton. Number 2, rough ER, and then you'll type at the bottom, where is Dracula found? He's found in the nucleus. So you should have a total of 20 answers by the end of it. Alrighty, guys, that is it for the Dracula cell activity. And I will talk to you later.